Today we're going to go over my electronics bench. And I keep track of a lot of small parts, from little circuit bits to screws, nuts, bolts, cables, connectors. Next time a project comes up and I want to hack something together or create something new, I can just hit the parts bins and just look for the piece I need. I love it because I feel like once that flow state begins, I can just go and I can just look for this piece and I got the piece I need, great. Here's the part, all right, back to work. That flow state doesn't break until I'm looking for something I can't find it, or I don't know if I have it, or it's somewhere it shouldn't be. Those I find really frustrating. And I've been putting a lot of effort into getting things organized so that there's a system that keeps track of all the parts I've got in my library. These bins I actually got for free. These were from my university. Just before I graduated, they were clearing out their old electronics lab in the basement. And 16 crates they were just throwing out, and they were full of parts. They were these kind of zany little time capsules. Eventually, they just wanted to get rid of them, but I found out about it before they did, and I took them all home with me. What I haven't done yet is print out the labels for these drawers, and that's what we're going to do today. I'm so excited to share this with you. Here we go. Let's take a look at some of the stuff we're dealing with here. See, we've got a bunch of drawers over here. We got resistors, this whole column of red. Just see what those look like. We got some beefy ones over here, teeny tiny ones over here, and even smaller ones down below. These have a mix of variable resistors and trim pots, down to the big potentiometers, the big beefy ones. And down here we got capacitors. Many of them are empty because I haven't really fleshed out my capacitor collection yet. At the very bottom we have inductors and coils and all that good jazz. We got, what are these? Transducers. The whole scheme of it I'd pulled off of Wikipedia's electronic components article. Breaks all of this down into nice, easy chunks. My goal was just to make it everything easy to find. I almost don't care what system I use as long as it's consistent. So this is just something that I kind of drew inspiration from, and I hope it helps for you. Now what else do we got? We have hookup wire from the thick stuff over here. We got the real thin stuff. These are fun. Ribbon cable, yes, I love ribbon cable. Rainbow, non-rainbow, we got something for everyone. Over here in the yellow, semiconductors from transistors of every style and flavor, voltage regulators, buffers, logic units, crystals, microcontrollers, you name it, it's there. Kind of nice to be able to keep track of just all the little logic components that you pull from circuits. You never use it to make a product, but if you're doing something just to kind of prototype it and see if it works, it's saved the day, let me tell you. We got hardware. Now what's this? This is all now connectors. IEC connectors, the computer power cords, RJ45 connectors, Ethernet, dip sockets, wall outlets, NEMA 10 I think they are, NEMA 15. Binding posts, phone connectors is often known as auxiliary connectors, right? Because you see on your cars and your stereos, they put aux, AUX. They're technically called phone connectors. They're like old style connectors that operators used to use when patching your phone call at the old operator booths. Those are the big ones. These are the small ones that are like on your headphones. Some of everything. And there's just plenty of stuff in here. The challenge of getting all of this in an easy to navigate format, it's not an easy one. It's not trivial. LEDs, display devices, we've even got heat sinks and various knickknacks. Try to keep the miscellaneous drawers down to a minimum because miscellaneous drawers just invite stuff. They are just invitations to fill them up with random crap, and to try to empty them out is just hell. But we got hardware, screws, nuts, bolts. These are just all random from, again, stuff we've taken apart. In fact, a lot of these screws were from an ultrasound machine. While I was in Midtown Manhattan one day, there was a very large machine just sitting on the sidewalk. And I actually wheeled it home on the subway and gutted it for parts and pulled all the screws out and the nuts and bolts, because like when you get these really, really high price range items, the engineers spared no expense. They will put the highest quality hardware they can, the highest quality circuit boards if you're looking for parts, and you can pull little gems from these medical devices that were so thoroughly engineered. Batteries, office supplies, adhesives and tapes. You'll see all this come together. Now comes the moment of truth. But first, whenever coming to organize stuff, it's always important to get a clean workspace. In this case, I got some stuff cluttering the workbench, but first we're gonna get rid of this. We've got the label maker, which is a Brother P-Touch. Amazon links in the description if you want to grab one, along with some multicolored labels. I've already put together a whole list of all the contents. This spreadsheet has been set up to work with the software that plays nicely with this label maker. This software can take in a CSV file spit out by Google Sheets, Excel, and import it as a database. You can print out multiple labels. You can see as I scroll through here, the label up top is actually updating. So let's watch it print. It actually came out pretty nicely. Check that out. Very cool. So we finished the white ones, tools and supplies. Now let's go on. Let's do the yellow. Or the stationery. How about that? Let's do it. So we've got them all printed. Well, almost all of them. So we ran out of red, but that's okay because we're going to rip off all the old ones. Let's get to it. Time has come to put the new labels on. Here's the trick. The labels, when you split them in half, they have two sides of a non-stick backing. I'm only going to expose the top half of the sticky bit. Yeah. So the backing is split in half. I want to leave the bottom half not sticky so that I can easily pop it up and rip it off next time. Here we go. And we're done. We've made our labels, we've printed them, and we've stuck them on. Now it should be real easy to find anything we need in the lab. Well, thank you very much for joining. I hope you got something out of this. I've been excited to get to this part of the project. It's been almost a year in the making. So thank you very much, and I hope to see you in the next one.